All right, shalom, shalom. It's the brother I'm one coming to a quick lesson. Low one is edifying to the point. First and foremost, I want to give our honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba Hashem, Ruch HaKadosh. The honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to those feel like men that's guided abroad, pushing this truth with thought sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And also shalom to you very few sincere sisters. Excuse me. Just taking heed and getting in order in these last days, right? So the topic I was going into was endurance, right? Which was the word of the week, and that's what it's all about, serving Yahweh Shema Shah, endurance, because you can be on fire 2 years, 3 years, and after that, the Lord put your candle out, because you start bullshitting with the works, you start slacking, He put a you let the task overcome you. You fell at the wayside, right? So it's about endurance, right? It's about taking these trials and tribulations on the chin, It's about enduring, right? When you're enduring something, whether you're suffering through it, right? Because this race that we're in is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you got to prepare yourself. You got to prepare yourself, right? Let's rock the second chapter. All right, so let me grab a quick scripture right quick, and I'm going to get into the definition. It's the book of Matthew 24, verse 13. It says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, right? So that's what it's all about, enduring, right? Being up under that fire, Being up under that fire, that's what it's all about, right? The Lord's going to make sure, it says gold is tried in the fire. Right, gold is tried in the fire, but before I get there, let me grab the definition for endurance, right? Endurance is the ability to withstand hardship or sustain prolonged physical or mental effort, right? And what's that main scripture we talk about, right? The book of Isaiah 33:6. They're going to take wisdom and knowledge, right? It's going to take experience to get through these things, You have to go through it so you can grow through it. Right, when you get that when you get that crown, just know that you worked for, you endured all the battles, right? And that's what it's about, enduring, suffering all the battles, right? Yahweh Shah was our head example, right? He used wisdom and knowledge as well to get through these things. He knew what his mission was. We know what our mission is, So all of these little obstacles that's in the way, it's a part of your testimony. It's a part of you receiving your crown. Keep that in mind, right? Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, right? And this applies now. When you're going through these things, right, it's for you to take mental thought, note it, right? Because you may come back to it again, and in that next time, you'll be able to get around it easier, right? It'll be easier for you because why? You've seen this same obstacle before, Like you may lose a job, and it may hurt, you know what I'm saying? But hey, you keep fighting, and another job come around. You start setting things up for yourself. Excuse me. Or you may whatever it really, hits home for you. When that certain situation comes around again, are you able to weather that storm a little better? You're able to rejoice in that a little better because you know that the Lord got you out of that situation. So when it comes around again, you just know, man, I just gotta buckle down. The Lord, he making rounds and he trying me again. I gotta be ready for it. I gotta show my integrity. Let me hit the book of matter of fact, let me reread this again. It says endurance is the ability to withstand hardship or sustain prolonged physical or mental effort. Right, that's what it's all about. Endurance. You're standing in that pain, right? You're sitting in that pain, and I just let go, right? Let me grab that. It's like you're a piece of gold, right? A gold is tried in the fire, right? That's how it shows that what is valuable, it's worth something, and that's us. We're proving that we got to show the Lord that we're worth that gold. So we must go through these tribulations. So we can come out, at the end, right, and receive that crown. Right, this is the book of Sirach 2, and I'm gonna go all the way down to I'll go down to verse 5. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, right? Because now, hey, we enter into a race. We enter into a contract, Inside with this contract, it's telling you, hey, don't look back. Whatever you go through, you keep going. That's how it goes. You keep going. Ain't no, like the song goes, man, ain't no mountain high enough. You know what I'm saying? Right? To really make you just turn back, man. It's to prepare thyself for temptation, Because, hey, and that's another reason. As a matter of fact, I'm just trying to grab what I can, while it's on my mind. 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. 2 Corinthians 5 and 7. Salakia. For we walk by faith and not by sight. So these obstacles that's in front of us, do not let that scare you. You're meant to get over it. But you gotta have that faith. That faith is what's gonna get you through it all. That faith is what's gonna really help you sit in that fire. That faith is gonna help you get through that temptation. Right? So let me go back. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare, right? You gotta have a mindset, You gotta have a mindset. And that's why a lot of dudes are falling out now. A lot of sisters are falling out now because why they don't have the mindset. You gotta see that. You gotta see the finish line. And you must stick with that vision. And everything that's in the middle, that's just that's the obstacle. That's a temptation. Yes, the temptation can get big. Some of them can be small. But both of them you still need to maneuver around, But be able to do so with what the wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding of the scriptures, right? This is your your guide. This is your, your cheat code to get through these day-to-day things, right? It says, set thy heart aright, right? You gotta lock in and constantly endure, right? You gotta already know what this shit finna hurt, but fuck it, right? You gotta have that spirit on you, fuck it, It says constantly endure, constantly suffer, right? And make not haste in the time of trouble, right? Think about this. Did Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, did they haste in the time of trouble? No. They waited in the furnace, right? And we're in a spiritual furnace. We go through these little tribulations. Yes, the heat has kicked up some, but wait, right? Same as that story. Yahweh pulled up on them, got them up out of it, So we must wait inside of our trials and tribulations until the Lord be like, all right, that's enough fire. I'm going to cool you out. I'm going to get you up out of this, right? And that builds more faith, right? That builds your endurance because, matter of fact, let's get this in the book of Romans, right? And we get this at the NLT version. I'm going to start at verse 3. We can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials. For we know that they help us develop endurance. See? It helps us what? Develop endurance. Because now we see that the Lord can get us out of this situation. We just have to endure it. We have to just suffer it until, he sees fit for us to get up out of it. So, we rejoice, right? And also, I think it's in the book of Hebrews chapter 12 about he chastened those who he loved, He's going to put you in it, right? If you want to be the elect, just be prepared to what? Go through hell, Right? We can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials. But we know that they help us develop endurance, right? It helps us develop what? The ability to withstand hardship or sustain prolonged physical or mental effort, right? So it's building your mental, right? You're not being weak. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. Hey, it is what it is, right? The Lord see fit for me to go through something, No test, no testimony, right? You gotta have that. It's that bet, man. I always talk about that bet with Job all the time. And hey, you try him. I'm telling you, man, the Lord. So when the Lord, send the spirits out to try you, Just know, hey, it's a part of that bet. Let's see if you can hold your integrity now. Let's see you gonna fold up when the Lord remove certain things from you, closest to you, you know, right? Or put you through something, you know, illnesses, you know, right? Let me read it all the way through verse 4. We can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance, right? And we're developing something that's increasing. It says, and endurance develop strength of character. You're able to hold it down better. You know, you're not moving in a hasty spirit. You know, you're used to this. It says, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. See? You see how they was popping their shit when Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego was in that in that furnace? They already knew what time it was. Like, man, the Lord gonna get us out of here. And if we not, and if he didn't, let's just say if he didn't, but we're gonna die about it, you know. But we know it builds your character, it builds your faith that the Lord's gonna eventually take me out at any given moment. But I must stay the course. I can't trip. You know, I can't complain. That's what I signed up for, you know, and I'm willing to do this, you know, until the Lord takes me out of it and you know, till he delivers us, you know. I always keep that in mind. All right, so from there, matter of fact, let me hit that, because I had a couple of precepts lined up on there, but I remember 1 Corinthians 4 and 17, you know, 1 Corinthians 4 and 17, no, I think it's 2 Corinthians 4. 1 Peter 4, Salakia. Right, it's all about, hey man, it's all about, you know, smiling through that pain, man. You know, rejoicing. This is the book of 1 Peter 4. Matter of fact, I think it's 12 and 13. I said 17. 17 going to something different, right? And I'm going to read it inside the NLT again. It says, dear friends, don't be surprised at the fiery trials you are going through. Don't be surprised at this, man. You know, it says, as if something strange were happening to you. No, this is supposed to happen, right? This is your test. You know, like I mentioned at camp, you know, it's like, you know, you've been riding around on what's the word? Training wheels. It's like you've been riding around on training wheels, you know, and now it's time for you to do it on your own, you know. It's a test to see where you at. You know, you've been practicing, that test finally came around, so now I got to take it off and see what you really built on, you know. So it says, dear friends, don't be surprised at the fiery trials you're going through, right? And they're going to be tough. They're going to be real tough, you know, because every situation that we go through is tailor-made for you, you know. What happens for the next brother may be easier for you. And what you go through may kill the next brother. You know, so everything's tailor-made for you. So don't be surprised. Every brother is going through their own shits, man. You know. But Lord willing, you know, we all be able to keep enduring our own individual battles. You know. Like I said, you know, every brother will have his own testimony. You know, that's going to be documented for infinity. You know. Especially being of the elect. You right? It says, dear friend, don't be surprised at the fiery trials you are going through as if something strange were happening to you. Instead, be very glad, for these trials make you partners with Hamashiach in his suffering, so that you will have the wonderful joy of seeing his glory when it is revealed to all the world, right? And we already know what time it is. Yahweh Shai is finna come get his glory. He's finna come take these crowns off these other rulers of these other nations, right? And the Lord saying, hey, you keep going through your pain, right? And when it's time for the reward, right? Because the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is on the right-hand side already. He got his crown, but hey, he has to make it throughout the earth, right? We keep going through, you know, the hardships that we're going through now, enduring it, we're going to get crowned as well, right? And it's going to lead into the book of Romans, chapter 8. and 18. And 18, Salakia. I gotta figure out how to make the print smaller. Come on now. Right. Right. So I'm gonna read both versions. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. NLT. Yet what we suffer now is nothing compared to the glory he will reveal to us later. Right, Lord, talk about my Father's house. There are many mansions. Right, I go into a place to prepare for you. That should make you want to endure. I want to see what's going on. I want, because hey, you know how Jake get down already. And just on this side, we get it not bad. So we finna meet the author of that. Lord finna show out and get in his bag, man. Galaxies and different mansions, palaces, new bodies, a vibe that we can't even pronounce or describe. That's worth going through the little shits that we go through, right? He said these are light afflictions. Did I just read that? The light affliction? What's that? What scripture is that? I thought it was like 1 Corinthians 4. I gotta find that. Right, but these are light afflictions. I really thought it was 1 Corinthians 4:17. Yep, hey man, call Allah Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai. That's what I was looking for. Both scriptures was beautiful, right? That and 1 Peter, right? Because it's definitely about endurance. Right, so let me finish off on that. I'll just go through that here. And I'm going to come back to this too, Salakia. I'm jumping all over the place. Right, this is the book of Romans 8:18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that which... Salakia. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Right, so the glory that's coming, right, the small thing that we go through, hey, it's worth it. Right, it's worth it. Losing what you think may be a lot is worth it. It's all about just, like I said, sitting inside that pain, enduring the hardships. That's what it's all about. So let's hit that 2 Corinthians 4:17, right? For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. See? NLT. Gotta read verse 18. I'll read both of them first. It says, so, for our light affliction, which is not but for a moment, work for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. So one last question. Are you willing to stay down for the things not seen? Right? Is your faith strong enough to endure for the things that are not seen, but have been written down for us? Right? Letting us know if we stay down, this will be your reward. Right? NLT. For our present troubles are small and won't last very long. Like I mentioned earlier, it don't rain forever, right? It's not gonna rain forever. And just know, keep that faith that it will eventually work its way out. It says, yet they produce for us a glory that vastly outweighs them and will last forever. Now that's heavy. What we find reward's gonna outlast these small afflictions that we go through. So we don't look at the troubles we can see now. Rather, we fix our gaze on things that cannot be seen. See, you put a tunnel vision. Tunnel vision to what? The end, right? The scripture talk about the straight gate, the straight gate, right? The gate of difficulty. You gotta go through that straight gate. It's about being tried, man. Proven, right? And the Lord wants to see that dog in us, man. Like I mentioned before in the lesson. You know, you want to, you don't want no weak fight. Nigga get knocked out in the first round under a minute. Hell no, that's nothing. I want to see this man get through it. I want to see this man go through the trial and tribulation. I want to see this man show the world this is why he got his crown. Right? It says, for the things we see now will soon be gone, but the things we cannot see will last forever. Right? The pains that we go through, the trials and tribulation, that's going to eventually, be a thing of the past. Right? But the reward, the kingdom, the heaven, the kingdom, the crown, the spiritual powers, new bodies. Right? That's going to last forever. But that's the part about staying down. Excuse me. A couple more precepts and I'll be done. Oh, I gotta finish Sirach. Sirach 2, and I read it again. I start at verse 3 this time. It says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Right? And that's what, you must keep praying in times of your tribulation. You must pray instant in season and out of season. You must constantly be praying anyway. He said, but cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient, right? And that's a part of endurance too, right? Being patient, suffering, and be patient with our change to a low estate, right? You be in that low estate, don't let them temptations get bigger than you, to where you give in, right? This is the real purging time, purging of those impurities, seeing what you're made of. Right, but it says take it cheerfully, smile. Right, in the book of Romans chapter 5, you got to smile about that. It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. See, so gold that's how you gonna know if you got real gold or not. Put it through that fire. That's how you know if you got a real elect man or not. Put him through that fire. You right? And I'm gonna I got most of them. I've got the Ephesians chapter 6, but right now I'm going to grab the book of 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. Right? And I'm going to read the NLT version. The temptations in your life are no different from what others experience, right? And, I tell myself, I tell bros, we all in the same boat with different seats, Everything is tailor-made for you, but we all in the same journey for the same thing, same penny, right? The kingdom, the crown, right? The salvation. We all in that boat for that, right? So the temptations in your life are no different from what others experience, and the Most High is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand, right? It'll be just think about it. It'll be just enough, right? It'll be just enough to where you just give up, You got to believe that, right? But it's his job to try you, Go to try it in the fire. It says he will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, he will show you a way out so that you can endure, right? And you ability to withstand, right? Physical and mental, right? He's going to have you get you a way out, right? Like I go back to the story of Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. They waited. And then boom, Yahweh came through, got them up out of there. Don't you think that increased their faith even more? Right? Think about the scripture right here, the book of Sirach 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see. Did ever any trust in the Lord was co-founded? Right? No. Right? Let me add this Ephesians chapter 10, 6 and 10, and I'm going to close out. Ephesians chapter 6. I'm going to read through just 10 and 11. Yeah. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, right? Going back to the book of Job, chapter 1, right? It's all about being able to your integrity is going to be on the line. It's going to be tested, right? When it comes to the Lord, prepare that soul for temptation, not to look back. So we must have on that whole armor to do so, right? Because you're going to have fiery trials and fiery darts. They're going to be hitting you. But with this wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding, you're able to what? Shield it. You know how to maneuver when it is at your doorstep. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying and uplifting. Only about honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, Shem Krakadash. Shalom.